You ready? Let's go. 2-minute daily devo for Tuesday, May 17th. I'm in the Contemporary English Version today, and our verse of the day comes from the book of Micah, chapter 6, verse 8. I want to give you a little context here before we get to our verse of the day. Micah was a prophet in the Old Testament. And prophets, God would speak to the prophets, and the prophets would then relay to the people what God was saying. And so Micah starts out here by telling them that God is saying how faithful and good he's been to them. He says this, my people, have I wronged you in any way? Please tell me. I rescued you from Egypt where you were slaves. And don't forget the evil plans that I rescued you from and how I saved you many times. And then Micah says this. He says, what should we do? He said, should we bring sacrifices? Should we do something to please him with 1,000 sheep and oil and all these things? And here is what God says to tell the people. God says, this is what I want. For all the times that I've been faithful and rescued you and taken care of you, here's all that I ask. In verse 8, our verse of the day, the Lord God has told us what is right and what he demands. See that justice is done. Let mercy be your first concern and humbly obey your God. This is what God is asking of his people back in the book of Micah. But you know what? This is what God is asking of you and me today. And I'll tell you why. These are characteristics of our God. And we are to reflect God's glory. We are to look like God, act like God for the people around us. That, we are the only tangible presence that these people may ever see. They may never step foot inside of a church, but they can see how you and I act and how we reflect the goodness of our God. We are the hands and feet of Jesus. And this is how Jesus acted. When Jesus was on earth, what did he do? He saw that justice was done. He reached out to those that were being outcast by society, and he looked and tried to help them to receive justice. He says, let mercy be your first concern. God was all about mercy. Obviously, Jesus walked around and then he went to the cross and it was all about mercy. And here's the most important thing. Here's the most important thing that Jesus did when he was on earth and what he's calling and asking us to do. And humbly obey your God. Jesus talked about how over and over he was doing the work of his Father, that he was trying to obey God, that he wanted to do whatever his Father told him to do. This is the attitude that you and I need to have, that we will humbly obey God in whatever he asks us to do. Are we looking for justice for those that are outcast by society? Are we trying to let mercy be our first concern and not judgment, but mercy for those that are in need of righteousness? And then, are we obeying God no matter what? I want to encourage you today. Let this be what you do and how you live your life so that people can see this and glorify our God. All right, that's it, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow.